Kodo! Kodo! Where is he? Huh? Kodo! Where are you? Eating, huh? You're always hungry.
In an age when nature and magic rule the world, there is an extraordinary legend. The story of a warrior who communicates with animals, who fights sorcery and the unnatural. His name is Dar, last of his tribe. He is also called Beastmaster.
I don't want to kill you, but I will.
Wait, just wait, please. Now, I understand that you want me to fight this noble creature. Obviously, one of us is going to lose. So, what possible purpose does this one-sided competition serve?
It serves the pleasure of King Zad. Tiger learns to kill. You learn to die.
Oh, I understand. Perhaps I might suggest another option here.
Enough!
I'm not one of them. But if I stay here, they'll kill me.
Then don't stay.
Right. But I also need your help.
Better go quickly.
I think we should have taken 2 of the Terran horses. Maybe then I could feel my feet.
They would have followed the tracks and found us easily.
Well, there was some food near the tiger's cage. We could have taken that.
Now they'll have to find some more, which will slow them down.
You knew that, didn't you? Well, I can thank the stars for one thing. I'm lucky that tiger decided to attack the Terran guard instead of me.
It wasn't luck.
Fate, chance, call it what you like.
The tiger knew you were innocent. And he knew the guard wasn't.
The tiger knew? And how do you know what the tiger was thinking? You knew you were safe when you took the net off the tiger. A warrior who knows what the animals are thinking and who can communicate with them. A beastmaster, last of his tribe, blood enemy of the Terran.
And how do you know all that?
I know more. I know your name. I know where you come from. Your name is Dar. You're from a tribe they call the Sulas. They were killed by the Terrans, everyone except for you and for one other who they took away.
And how do you know?
Because I have talked to the other. Her name is Kira. She was there.
Where will they take her?
Probably to one of their camps.
Will you take me?
The Terrans have sorcerers, warriors, beasts beyond your imagination.
Yes or no?
I swore by every star in the sky that I would not go back there, ever. But you saved my life. My name is Tao. It means the way. And I'll show it to you.
I've never understood love. Why love? Why hate? There must be answers somewhere. This man Dar could be a king. His gift is priceless. How much would a great ruler like King Zad give in order to have Dar's ability? To be able to master the great beasts of the world for his own pleasure and amusement. And yet, he follows his heart for one woman. Why, when there are so many others, why die for her? You're quiet.
Fools talk, the wise listen.
Proverbs. You give me proverbs when I want answers.
Proverbs are the daughters of experience and the way to answers.
If I take him, Can I learn his secret for myself?
You say he follows his heart. And then if this be true, he won't bend to anything else. You must give him what his heart desires.
But how do I take his gift?
Men respond to fear. It works. Until they give up hope. Take away hope, and you don't get anything from them. You know, there was a time before beast and man when we sorcerers did things, fabulous, magical things. But unfortunately, there weren't any people to appreciate it. It's better now. Well, all the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players.
What an interesting thought.
Yes, but it hasn't been written yet.
You have to teach me that.
This? Well, in time, when you need it.
Tell me about these two, Dodo and Bobo.
It's Kodo and Podo.
All right. How do you tell which is which?
Well, Kodo stays home. Podo is always eating. And the way he eats, he should be as big as a horse.
Where'd you find them?
They found me. They were a part of a tribe of their own race, but they're thrown out.
Why?
For being mischievous thieves and troublemakers.
What's wrong?
I don't know. I feel like the gazelle. I just can't see the lion.
Well, the Terrans are everywhere here, and they keep a close eye to their camps. People who do evil expect evil.
Which way?
Towards the mountains.
Make way for King Zad!
The eagle's a friend of yours, too?
He's Sherak. And he's older than these rocks.
Impossible. They come from the great age of ice, a million years ago.
So does he. The sorcerer took away his ability to die. He's gained a lot of wisdom over time.
After a million years, I would think so. But watching life come and go like that, he must be lonely.
That's why he has me. I'm his friend. He lets me see what he sees.
Yeah, but someday you'll come to an end. He won't. You'll be lonely again.
You're always talking about me and the animals. Tell me about you.
My tribe is very far from here.
Where?
Middle of the world, I think.
Tell me about the Terrans. You were there. And you saw Kira.
We were kept in the same camp.
What will King Zad do to her?
The best. Keep her, marry her, make her a queen.
And the worst?
Give her to one of his warriors for play or a sorcerer for experiment.
He won't kill her.
You asked me what would be the worst. There are many things in life worse than being killed.
We're moving too slow.
I enjoy you, Kira. Especially the way you move and dance.
Thank you.
I would like to enjoy you more in other ways. I could make your life more pleasant here. Give you pleasures beyond your imagination.
You already treat me very well as it is, Kingzad.
The favors are not returned, Kira. I could bend you. Take you to my bed now if I desired. Surely you must know that.
I understand.
Of course you do. But I don't see you like the others.
How am I different?
Your body. Your look. Sound of your voice. What is it that makes a man's heart want a woman?
I'm not sure I know.
You play with me, Kira. A dangerous game. I could throw you into the mud with my warriors, watch you dance with them.
Then you'd never get what you want, and your game would be lost.
Patience is a foolish virtue. It never gets you what you want when you want it.
You have the power to take my body, but my heart can only ever be one.
Life is quick, Kira. Quicker at my age than yours. I'll get what I want, guard! Take her to a tent. For the moment.
Pretty One was with you as a prisoner.
Yes. If this is a Terran camp, it's not like any I've seen. I mean, that building, such a strange shape. I've never seen anything like that before. Something is wrong.
Hey, put that down.
I mean you no harm. I'm looking for a woman called Kira. Do you know her?
Yes.
Is she here? I would give my own life, or I would take one, just to see her.
She's inside with the others. If what you say is true, you should hurry. The guards are taking us back to the camp.
I don't understand. When I went in, it was a big place. It was bigger than it seemed from the outside, but none of the women were there. It was empty.
They were never there. I knew something was wrong. I just didn't know what.
They were there. We saw them.
It was an illusion. It wasn't real.
The fire was real.
And the monster, it was a chimera, probably created by one of King Zad's sorcerers. Probably the woman who tricked you.
She knew Kira's name.
That means you were enticed here for some other reason.
To kill me?
No. Otherwise, you'd be dead, I assure you. It was something else.
She said Kira was there. I just hope we get to the Terran camp before something happens to her.
I know the reason. Hope. Somebody wants you to have hope, and somebody wants you to come after Kira. That's why she was with the Tigers, and that's why the woman knew her name.
Well, they'll get their wish.
Dar, does the tiger have a name?
His name is Ru. It means headstrong, powerful.
At least that makes sense. Good idea. How are you going to find her?
Kodo and Puddle will take care of that. They can get into any camp and not get caught. You wait for us here.
What, alone?
No. And Ru will take care of you.
I didn't come here to wind up a meal for some tiger.
You won't be a meal. At least not today. Ru will protect you.
Oh, great. It makes me feel so much better. Stay.
Come on, boys. Okay, go. Stay here. I have a message for the woman from King Zad.
Be quick.
Dar?
Kira.
Dar, no! It's the mist. It causes blindness, but it passes. Please, stay where you are. There's no way you can free me from here.
Must be.
No. Don't touch the crystals again. It'll only make things worse.
I can't believe I'm so close and can't see you.
And hear me if that's all we have. I've missed you. missed you with all my heart. And I knew you'd come, but it frightened me. How did you find this place?
A man. A man called Tao.
I remember him. He was a prisoner.
No, he's freed. So shall you be.
No.
There must be a way.
No! I'd rather stay in this horrible place than lose you. As long as you're safe, I have hope. Put out your hand. Slowly. I've been thinking of you. Seeing you and touching you. And I know if there's any good in this world, we'll be together again.
There is, Kira. And we have to find it together. Do they ever take these crystals away?
Yes. When King Zad comes to see me, he comes tonight. But you can't. You can't. It's too dangerous. Quick, you must go. They'll see the guard isn't there.
No. I'll make them free you if I have to.
Oh.
I'll kill them all if I have to.
You can't fight if you can't see. Please.
No.
Please go.
Tomorrow, then.
It's impossible.
No. Nothing is impossible.
How many?
Some.
Black mist. Very nasty. Only temporary, though.
Stings like a nest of hornets.
Well, next time, try some of this. White mist. That would allow you to see.
Next time will be tonight.
Well, in that case, you're going to need something else.
An army would help.
I can't get you an army, nor am I one of King Zad's sorcerers. But I have a little magic of my own. The sorcerers get their magic from the supernatural. I get mine from the natural.
What is it?
Well, something an old Zambezi woman showed me. Take that stick. Now burn my hand. Trust me. Cover yourself with it. I call it Tao's magic. It'll protect you from the Chimera.
You're very clever. Maybe you should be the sorcerer.
Their world is dark. They don't believe in good or evil, just the knowledge of sorcery. Wisdom, if you find it, I believe, should be used for good. It's only temporary. Remember that.
We'll leave after the sun sets.
Dar, please remember the
The
effects.
effects are only temporary.
Only temporary.
I know.
You can go.
Kira. Kira. Kira.
Beastmaster, I'm glad you're here.
Where is she? Where's Kira?
She is safe. Do what I ask, and next time I'll let you see her. could be a friend. Perhaps the most important friend you ever had. Or the worst enemy you ever dreamed.
Who are you? Sorceress.
I prefer friend. You have a gift, Dar. You communicate with the beasts of the sky and the sea and the forests. Share it with me. Give me your gift, and I will give you more than Kira. More than you ever imagined. I can show you worlds only few know. Worlds that go beyond everything born of Earth. I can make you a king.
The worlds you speak about are evil. And their kings are devils. Like you.
Refuse and you shall suffer devils and evil. And for Kira, it will be even more horrible.
No! They've taken it.
We should go. We found them once, we can find them again.
Dar. There will be another time, Beastmaster. And another place.
This is my home.
Beautiful. Like a paradise.
Well, you're welcome to stay.
Thank you.
I will find you, Kira. You stay alive. No matter what it takes, you stay alive. And I will find you.